Virgil Ortiz makes his long-awaited comeback to continue his unbelievable 100% knockout record. Facing down this young beast of a boxer is Fredrick Lawson, an experienced boxer from Ghana. It's an exciting matchup for fans of Ortiz in particular, as the stage is set for him to capture a world title soon after this fight. Here's all that led up to this. The comeback. Virgil Ortiz Jr. returns to the ring after a year-long hiatus, which follows a previous year-long hiatus. These periods of inactivity occur due to various health issues, but we'll get there later. Virgil Ortiz Jr. was born on March 25, 1998 in Dallas, Texas, and raised in Grand Prairie, a suburb of Dallas. His father, Virgil Ortiz Sr., was also a boxer, although he remained as an amateur and never made the jump to professional. He was, however, directly responsible for introducing Ortiz Jr. to boxing. When Virgil Ortiz Jr. was 5 years old, Ortiz Sr. picked his son up from kindergarten one day and took him to a gym in Dallas. Virgil Jr. remembers it well. "I thought it was cool and all, but it looked kind of boring at first because they were just hitting the bag," the younger Ortiz said. "The first day, I didn't really care for it, but the second day, they were sparring and I was like, oh cool, they're fighting." So I asked my dad, "Hey, can I try it?" And he said, "You want to try it?" I said, "Yeah, I want to try it." There were some other 5-year-olds training and they stuck me in there to spar with no prior experience, and they said I did pretty good. However, Ortiz Jr. began boxing properly at the age of 8 and quickly showed promise as a competitor. To say that he was a prodigy is a bit of an understatement, because as an amateur, he became a 7-time national champion. His victories include the National Junior Golden Gloves, the Ringside World Championships, and the National POW Championships. Moreover, he also won the 2013 Junior Olympics. These achievements made him a standout figure in the amateur boxing scene, where he was already developing the fighting style and posture that makes him famous today. It also attracted the attention of Golden Boy Promotions, who signed him for going pro. None other than Ryan Garcia was a recurring opponent for him during this time as an amateur, and unfortunately, those showdowns ended in losses for him. Do you smell a super hit fight in the future? We surely do. Anyway, going pro in 2016 saw him score knockout after knockout after knockout like it was nothing. His big break came in 2019 when he was noticed worldwide for the first time and rightfully honored. A 6-round KO win in August in a full-length 12-round match over Antonio Orozco notably earned him the title of Prospect of the Year by ESPN. The year 2019 ended for him with a stunning 5th-round KO victory over Brad Solomon. 2020 was looking very hopeful in that light, but what happened next went beyond the typical COVID-related bad luck faced by most boxers. Since 2020, Virgil Ortiz Jr. has had multiple hiatuses, prompting serious concerns about whether he should move up in weight. Ortiz tested positive for COVID-19 in February 2020, which resulted in a postponed bout against Samuel Vargas. Although he eventually beat Vargas in July of that year, he tested positive for a second time in 2021. Those of us who have had COVID know how much of a torture it is compared to the common flu. And it can't have been anything but even worse of a feeling for Ortiz. "I got it around February of 2020, and I got real sick," Ortiz told Yahoo. "That was the sickest I'd ever been. We all know the symptoms, but I literally got the worst of it." 2022 would not prove to be any kinder to him, as Ortiz was diagnosed with rhabdomyolysis, a condition involving the breakdown of muscle tissue. This affected a scheduled fight against Michael McKinson, which was rebooked from March 2022 to August. He suffered from a recurring case of rhabdomyolysis, leading to his withdrawal from a fight against Imantas Stanionis in the middle of this year. Rhabdomyolysis is the one condition you don't want to have as a professional fighter. This is what prompted concerns that Ortiz was pushing his weight maintenance a bit too far. It most famously nearly killed UFC fighter Junior Dos Santos, prompting widespread awareness against merciless weight cutting and overtraining. To underscore how serious it was for Ortiz, he was hospitalized the night before the fight against Stanionis. All combined, Virgil Ortiz was forced to take long hiatuses from fighting, and his fight on the 6th of January against Fredrick Lawson is his chance of making a comeback. "Headlining my first card in Las Vegas after over a year of inactivity is just what I needed," Ortiz said. "I'm very motivated to put on a great show like I always do, and to show everyone that I'm still here." Virgil is ready to come back stronger than ever to become a world champion in this sport, said Golden Boy Promotions chairman and CEO Oscar De La Hoya. He's got the heart and dedication and is on a mission to be a world title holder. Of course, with the 100% knockout rate in his professional career so far, do you really think anyone, let alone himself, would miss the chance to see him take a world title. Thought not. Ghanaian Defense. Fredrick Lawson, also known as General Okunka, is a professional boxer from Ghana. He was born in Accra, Ghana in 1989 and currently resides in Chicago, Illinois, USA. Growing up in Ghana in the 1990s and the 2000s, he was living in a time of steadily increasing opportunities for young Ghanaians. This was also during the time in which the domestic Ghanaian boxing scene, which was already one of Africa's most active and best perceived, started slowly booming again. Thus, he was first introduced to boxing at the age of 15 by a classmate who was an amateur boxer at the time. Lawson fell in love with the sport and started frequently turning up absent at classes so he could train at the Fit Square Gym at Kokemle in Accra. At Fit Square, he trained under the renowned Artekwe Lardy, the lead trainer at Fit Square, who nurtured him throughout his career in Ghana. Lawson also trained alongside accomplished fighters like former world bantamweight champion Joseph Abeko. He was naturally gifted when he decided to start training with me as a boxer, Lardy told BoxingAfrica.com. I taught Fredrick how to box and ensured he was featured on the national amateur team. He was essentially training with some of the best in Ghana. Education wasn't going to be the path for him, something that many Ghanaian parents would probably consider a death sentence. But that didn't matter, as Lawson was destined to do great. His amateur career quickly made him stand out within his native Ghana, and during the latter part of 2000s, it took him international. In March 2011, Lawson turned professional at the age of 22. Fighting out of Ghana under Lardy's tutelage, he won his first 21 bouts within Ghana with ease and gained national recognition as a serious force to be reckoned with. Lawson was gaining prominence, but he hungered for more. In 2013, he flew to the Philippines to train alongside none other than Manny Pacquiao. His fight against Mohamed Kayango in 2014 in the USA displayed a more brutal and more energetic fighting side of him, guiding Kayango into a 6-round TKO defeat. It was also around this time that he went under the wing of trader Andy Sanchez, who refined his style further. My first fight with Freddie was Raynar, when Lawson was climbing the ranks and trying to impress me, and he did a lot of jumping around that I didn't like, Sanchez recalls. But this kid's in the learning process, and the last 2 fights allowed us to work on some things. However, he would end up losing his first international 12-rounder against Kevin Bizier, which was supposed to be his ticket to a world title shot. This was shortly after an impressive victory over Pratis Prescott, and he never really managed to find his momentum back again. I can say that my fight with Kevin Bizier really had a negative effect on my career, especially the way I lost. Lawson told BoxingAfrica.com during a recent phone interview. I should have won that fight. The pressure on me to win was intense and really affected my performance. The injury to his jaw from the fight sidelined Lawson for 16 months. When he returned, his performances got progressively worse. On March 30th, 2019, it all came crashing down when Lawson faced Juan Ruiz in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The bout was organized by Top Rank Promotions, who had recently signed Lawson in hopes of developing him to world title contention. But of course, Ruiz ended those dreams. He also ended up losing the bout for the WBC American welterweight title to Charles Hatley, making yet another blow. Thankfully, he's managed to win his 2023 fights so far, but it remains to be seen whether or not he's going to be able to throw off this running curse and prevent his career from dying out entirely. Fighters compared. Ortiz Jr. is known for his aggressive and powerful style. He's a fighter that, according to his own words, likes to bring the heat when he fights. As you can guess, this is the driving force behind his knockout-to-win percentage of 100%, which speaks volumes about his punching power. And going along with his punching power is excellent maneuvering and a relentless pressure. Completing this 1-in-a-million package is that he's also known for his wise beyond years fighting style. Ortiz targets and throws punches with hard precision every time. As he puts it, when I hit the bag, he makes sure that every single punch that I throw is a hard punch. Sometimes boxers will throw a punch and it'll just happen to land. I make sure mine land and they land good. You'd think he'd tire out and become vulnerable more often in fights due to this, but he's got this covered well. He possesses excellent cardiovascular conditioning, which he trains a bit too hard, leading to the injuries that put him into hiatus. Nevertheless, he's probably going to be one of the hardest challenges ever faced by Fredrick Lawson. Fredrick Lawson, on the other hand, is known for a fighting style that's more relaxed and rooted in fundamentals, accompanied by his quick hands and great jab. He loves to engage in a fight with power-punching fury, but has also developed more patience. His fighting style is frequently described as underwhelming, but he's able to outbox his opponents with his determination and high fight IQ. This was the clean-cut style of boxing that took Ghana by storm, a country that usually turns out aggressive power punchers. However, some of his most devastating defeats have come about as a result of lackluster defense. Some who are acquainted with him have claimed that he's had a bad history of bad habits when it comes to training. Age has caught up to him now too, and the chances appear to be slim that he'll be able to take on Ortiz's assaults and win. Nevertheless, boxing is the only thing he seems to be able to do, and that's why underestimation may be a bad idea. Will Virgil Ortiz continue his impressive undefeated record to become champion one day soon? Or will General Okunka stand his ground? Leave us a like and subscribe if you agree with our assessment of this showdown. We'll see you again when the dust settles on the canvas.